Hey there, thanks for joining me today on Homeschool Mama 8 because today I'm going to be sharing with you what I am going to choose for my 7th grade curriculum this year. Stay tuned. As you know, we use Abeka curriculum, but last year for my 6th grader, I had to sort of veer off from Abeka so that I can get my student to understand things better in math and language. And I felt that I needed to take a little detour, use something else, and that's what we ended up doing. We ended up using for math Saxon, which is an excellent curriculum. I have said this before in other videos, that Saxon math, this 7-6 is for a high achieving 6th grader or a rising 7th grader. And so it actually did help her to understand, mainly because it is in black and white. It doesn't have all of the coloring and all the different little sayings and writings in the book as Abeka did. So that's why we switched. And we veered last year from Abeka's grammar, 6th grade grammar, and I opted instead for Easy, the 6th grade Easy Grammar, which is an excellent product. And I don't know, I can show you a few of the pages as I'm going to be going through these and letting you see what we did. And also, coupled with the Easy Grammar book, I use daily grams for 5th and 6th graders. And we use this book to help me see if my 6th grader is really comprehending what she's learning. So as I said, last year with my 6th grader, I used the Saxon Math 7 and 6. And in this curriculum, the topics that were covered were many, and they were all challenging. But this year, for my 7th grade curriculum, we're going to use, oh, that's the wrong one. We're going to use Abeka's Intermediate Mathematics. And this is what they use for the 7th grade. So this year we will be learning about some of the same things that we learned in Saxon, but they are introducing more steps to these processes. So here are all the contents. This particular curriculum has 12 chapters. And each chapter, chapter 1 has 12 lessons. Oh, the lessons are not all even, but chapter 2 has 8 lessons. Chapter 3 have 8 lessons. Chapter 4. Yeah, chapter 4 has 6 lessons. 8, 5, 6, 6. Okay, so and look at the things that they're going to be introduced to during this year. Percent and percentages, signed numbers, algebra, geometry, area and volumes, measurements, probabilities. Probability, statistical representations, where they're using bar graphs, circle graphs, box and whisker plots. Let me see. I might turn to page 296 and let you get a look on that. I think it's in this book, 296. Actually, I have to go to the other book because Abeka has 2 separate teacher editions, which to me is not necessary. I don't know why they do it like that, but this is something I bought a couple of years ago, so I'm just reusing it. So statistical representation. See, this curriculum, as you can tell, has many more colorful graphs and stuff in it. It has all up on the pages. You will have like little sayings, although I don't see one now, but this is one of the things that was so distracting for my child last year, in the 5th grade. So that's why I switched to the 6th grade, using 6th grade Saxon, because it's not black and white, but this is all colorful. So hopefully, I think my child has gotten over that. But anyway, these are the things they're gonna have to actually use these graphs right here and learn how to put these things into effect. And the Saxon math did introduce her to some of these concepts, so it's not foreign to her. It's not a huge wide jump from what we did in Saxon to Abeka. That's why those 2 maths I like, because they're both sort of teach the same way. Some of the concepts are taught differently, but you can still learn. She learned from Saxon can be applied in Abeka's math. And so this is the math we will be using all the way until you get up to multiplying and dividing monomials, which can be kind of tricky. Scientific notations right here with the longer numbers. Okay, that's our math curriculum. 7th grade Abeka math is intermediate mathematics. And of course, with the Abeka curriculum comes the quiz and tests that the kids can use, and it's up to you whether or not you want to use these. I find them very helpful because I want to know if my child is actually understanding what they're learning. And these tests are a good gauge for me to see if they're picking up. One of my children used it in 2021. So this is a curriculum that I have used more than once. So these are the quizzes. This particular curriculum, I'm trying to find a test. It has, they have like 4 quizzes before they take a test. Then the test is, let's see, how many pages is this particular test? 4 pages. But some people don't like Abeka because they think it's too demanding, but I like it myself. And my children who like math really actually get into it. Abeka is very thorough in their curriculum. As for grammar, language, last year, 6th grade, we used Easy Grammar, grade 6, and the student workbook. I use this book to teach the main concepts. This is really nice. I love the way this curriculum lays out a lesson. It shows you what you need to do. And in the teacher's key, it has the whole page that the child is supposed to, plus it shows me the answers, so I don't have to guess if I'm doing it right. And so they have to go through all of these and learning linking verbs, subject verbs. And if you allow your child, I don't know why my child put an I there, that's crazy. Teaching them about nouns and adjectives, and this curriculum, I don't know if you're familiar with Easy Grammar, but it is based on the child learning the prepositions, because the idea is if the child can memorize prepositions, then they can eliminate the prepositional phrases from a sentence, and then therefore it'll be easier for them to find the subject and the verb. And I think it does work. Anyway, but if a child is good at this and they're using it, they are well equipped to transfer it back to Abeka. And I'm just saying this as a person who used Abeka all throughout the year. If you have a child that is kind of like not getting Abeka, then a good curriculum to use would be Easy Grammars and Daily Gram, to help the child to do a daily gram, to make sure they're understanding what it is they're learning, that they're learning from the Easy Grammar, make sure that they're getting it, and then the next thing you know, it will help them to truly understand the grammar lesson that you're trying to teach them. Now, this year we're using Abeka's 7th grade English curriculum. And their curriculum consists of a grammar book, student workbook, a vocabulary and spelling, which teaches them poetry too, and a literature book, which I like their literature because it wraps it all in one book. But with this particular literature, you will have to supplement it, especially if you're a family of color and you want to introduce more African-American background or a Latina background, you have to supplement. I think we had to do that. We had to supplement the curriculum. But anyway, other than that, it's an excellent curriculum. Abeka's, this is right here is a teacher's daily plan. It helps me to know what to teach the child at the time, what they should be reading. It correlates all of the different books that go together, like the grammar, the spelling, and grammar, I don't know if you can see my finger or not, spelling, and literature. All of the different lessons that the child needs to complete in order to finish this book by the end of the year. I love these curriculum lesson plans. They help me to stay on point so I don't forget anything. Anyway, that's that. And here is my teacher's key, which I love because it helps me to know if my child is using, doing the right thing, because it might be something I don't understand. For instance, in this 7th grade curriculum, let's see the grammar unit. The first thing they're learning is manuscript form. Then they go back to review capitalizations again. And all throughout this curriculum, they have a writer's corner where they have to write an essay or essay answers. Then they have the unit reviews, then they have their test. So in the lessons this year will be capitalization, punctuation, the sentence. And as you know, grammar repeats these subjects every year, at least in Abeka it does, because the child has to advance in their language and grammar. And that's what these books are excellent at. They teach them the concept on their level and then helps them to advance to the next level. Learn about verbs, their uses, nouns. That's chapter 6. Let's see how many chapters are in this book. There's 12, and then there's 12 chapters. Oh wait, let me put this book. And then there's a composition section where they're learning how to write. And this is intertwined with all of these other pages throughout the school year. Like, we don't wait until the end to do composition. That curriculum book, teacher's curriculum book that I showed you, will show you how to guides you on how to incorporate these composition sections. Anyway, so continue with grammar. They're learning pronouns again, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions and interjections, and of course, sentence structure, and improving their writing style. I love it. And Abeka they recommend a handbook right here, which is a quick guide, almost like a dictionary for all of these, like the grammar rules, like I before E except after C, or when sounding like A as a neighbor and way. This handbook is something I bought when I first started. Well, somebody actually gave this to me. This is the handbook they recommend you have because it has all of the grammar rules in it without having to look in your student's book. You just take this guide right here and it helps you to understand all of the rules and how to find them really fast in here. That's what I like about this book too. It's very comprehensive. It's Abeka's grammar and composition handbook. And remember, Abeka always suggests that you help your child to learn to diagram sentences, because I have found that if they can diagram a sentence and they understand what the sentence is about. And also in the in the Abeka curriculum, we have the literature book. This is my book, the teacher's book. This helps me again to know what my child is learning. This literature book has, let's see, how many units in it? It has 9 units. And they're little snippets of stories, stories, famous authors, or like it may even have Laura Ingalls Wilder, Victor Hugo, all of these, Robert Louis Stevenson's. These are all stories and poems and things from these people. Because it's a Christian base, it goes through Pilgrim's Progress, which is also a book that we have to read. It's a book I already own as an adult. And it follows throughout the year. By the time we get to Unit 5, it's going to be around Christmas time. I like that too. They give nice Christmas stories like Christmas Carol, the Holy Thing, the Barn, and all the child is being immersed into things about Jesus Christ before, as throughout the holy month. And if you're a Christian, that actually means a lot. Okay. Men and women of genius. And remember, Abeka, although it's Christian-based, anybody can use Abeka, and anyone will prosper from it. So don't count it out just because it's Christian-based. Also, now here are the tests for Abeka. Let's look at this one. And you're probably wondering, see, this is my student kit. What I do is I just don't allow my child to write on these tests because I want to keep them for the next child. And this happens to be my last time I'm teaching 7th grade. And these books right here, my last 7th grader, before this one, did not write in the book. They just answered the questions on in a separate notebook. That way I was able to preserve this book for my now last 7th grader. Okay, and also, let's see, what else can I show you about our 7th grade curriculum? Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, as we can see, Abeka also has a 7th grade vocabulary and spelling and poetry book dedicated to just those things. This book comes with, let's see, how many lists? It has 28 spelling lists. And the child must do all of these throughout the year. So it takes 28 weeks, if they are diligent, it will. But let me explain to you that throughout the years, we have never finished these books in 28 weeks, because some of us had to use 2 weeks to get these words right. So don't be discouraged. Anyway, here are we. And then they are also taught different poems by Emily Dixon, Robert Burns, different people, Rudyard Kipling, Henry Van Dyke. And of course, this is another place where I like to supplement poems because they're not all there. We just want some from blacks. And then they give you the spelling rules to master. Then they give you how to solve analogy questions. So it's pretty thorough. I like to see. I tell the previous child that used this book, do not write in book because I'm going to pass it on. Well, that's a little trick I learned to do to save myself money throughout the years. But in the beginning, I didn't know that. So let me hit you to it right now. If you have more than one student, use this method. Don't let them write in the student book, and it will save you money. And another trick is, if for the student workbook, if you don't want to save the workbook, because sometimes the books, they have to write in that book, you can buy 2 student books to go along with the teacher's manual, and they will match. And that way, the next following year, when it's time for your second child or third child to go through this curriculum, all you have to do is pull out the student's book. That's what I did, actually, because the last child that used this was in 21. Now my child is about to use it this year. It's in 2025. So I just saved it. So I love these spelling words. They teach them spelling, and they give them the spelling rules. See, put I before E, except after C. Can you see that? I hope I'm showing you this. I before E, except after C. And it says words illustrating rule 1. See page 78. Let's see what it's talking about. 78. Oops. That's not 78. Oh, there it is right there. Okay. See, this is what it means. This is a spelling rule right here. I before E, except after C, or when sounded like A, as in neighbor and way. And they give these different examples, like I before E. The example is achieve, brief, fierce, shriek, and thief. Except after C. See, this word is ceiling, conceit, deceive, perceive, receive. Or sounding like A, as in feign, freight, Hamus, rain, veil. You understand that? It's even though this is an EI, it sounds like A. So that's a rule that your child will learn starting from first grade all the way up to now. And they need to remember those because it'll help them learn how to spell words much easier. Let's go to the poetry part. Oh, another thing I like about Abeka, it gives the child different exercises to help them understand or get into the habit of using the different words that they're learning. These are for the vocabulary. Yep, exercise. This is spelling. Some of them have puzzles where they have to actually, and they have, these are analogies. Can you see those? Analogies that they have in the book just built in. And it's a good thing to have your child introduced to these things. They have the poetry side of it, and the child is learning. These are the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 poems that they will learn throughout the year. And any other that you would like to incorporate with this. And I think it depends on the poem. Like this poem will probably get 2 weeks. This one, they'll probably get 4 weeks to learn. Or you may not, you can even skip them and replace it with something else if you don't like the poem. That's what I do a lot of the time. So that's my 7th grade vocabulary. Hey there, I know that I'm telling you about a lot of books for my 7th grade curriculum, but if you are in the early stages of homeschooling and you need help with it, please contact me because I am more than happy to help you to figure out what it is you want to do for the school year. If you go to the description of this video down below, you will find a link to my scheduling list to where you can get a free 30-minute call with me, or you can, I even have a course to help the new homeschooling parent to get started. This course gives you tips about how you can homeschool your elementary age kids and give you suggestions on what types of manipulatives and books and that you can use, and even I give you suggestions on where to find stuff and how to easily make things. This homeschooling journey doesn't have to be hard for you. If you have a guide to start you off, just to get you started, just to jumpstart your homeschooling career, check out this description down below. I have a link to my curriculum. Also, down below, I have my book that tells you how and why we started homeschooling and some of the hurdles that we went through and some of the challenges that we had to face, and also many of the blessings that we got as we were just starting out. Like I said, this is going on my 28th year because I have homeschooled. My husband and I have homeschooled 2 sets of children, and it's been a whirlwind. It's been a beautiful thing, and it's been very challenging, but it's been worth it out. I wouldn't change it for the world. Now this year, 7th grade science is Science, Order, and Design. This is an old edition. This year, this is one particular subject I did order new because I want to update it to the curriculum. But all the curriculum will still have these particular, it's going to touch on these broad subjects of science, which is, it's Invitation to Science, Studying God's Living Creation, Plants, and then they're introduced to the body, which is awesome. How many chapters, first of all? Oh, it has 13 chapters. 13 chapters. But this curriculum is, let's see, how many pages of more actual curriculum? It is 464 pages. And believe me, I've done this many times. If you stay on point with the Abeka curriculum that they give you, the homeschool curriculum to follow, you will finish it by the time the year is over with. But you got to stay on point. You cannot lollygag and act like it's not important. It has to be done. And I love a box curriculum so I can get my kids through things. And I know they're not missing anything. That's why I like it. So chapter 1, 2, and 3. And then we have a healthy lifestyle, creation and science, the science of classification of animals and the kingdom, mammals. They talk about, let's see, birds, fish, reptiles, and amphibians, insects, and other arthropods, then through the microscope. This year, I think I'm going to have to buy another microscope. Chapter 12 is all about forestry. And 13 is ecology, harmony, and God's creation, which I really like. And their curriculum is pretty colorful. It's thorough. I love the different built-in little scientific experiments the kids can do, like making a nature observation kit. It shows them how to make one, which is pretty awesome. It shows them how to identify tracks of different types of animals. And I know there's there it is. Designing an experiment. This is with beans. I've done this more than one time. Anyway, but I have to act excited every time I have to do it. This is my last time, hopefully, that I have to do this year. Cutting up a flower, doing a dissection. Careful cut. A good way to learn the various parts of a flower is to dissect it. So anyway, like I said, many of these This book has built-in experiments, which are easy to do for the homeschooling teacher. It's not that hard, these type. That's why I like Abeka, because they give you things that you can do at home with common stuff that you have in the house. Anyway, that's what science, 7th grade science this year. Now, 7th grade history this year from Abeka is called History of the World. I love their history books because they're so, I find they're thorough, but you do have to add to them also if you want more of African history or anything that you feel like is left out, you just add it. I mean, I'm not a history buff, I'm not a history teacher, but I do realize that there could be things that I can, additional things, because I think just with this is thorough enough, but I can add anything that I feel is missing. All I have to do is add to it by going to the library, getting books. This curriculum has 6 chapters. I mean 6 units, but 26 chapters. And like I said, if there is a gap or something that I'm missing, I have learned to just purchase other books to fill in the gaps. One such book that I bought was this one. It's called Black History, An Inclusive Account of American History. This is by Dr. Walter Milton Jr. and Joel A. Freeman, PhD. And what I like about this book is they give you stories and you scan these and it will take you immediately to a YouTube video to further expound upon the story. So it's not like you have to miss out on it. And this is from an African American perspective, which I love. It shows everything from ancient Egyptian history, about American history, and this is an awesome book to use to supplement any history book you get from America. Because I think all of the history books are kind of biased. American history books, I should say. They leave out so much when it comes to other people of color and races, so you must supplement. And not only that, we are Christians, so I want to know things from a Christian perspective also, and this is why I bought this book. This comes from National Geographic. It's The Biblical World in Illustrated Atlas. This book, so awesome. It has things that has found all biblical things that it has found all around the Middle East. Let me show you some of the scriptures. So it says the world before Abraham, the journey of Abraham, Joseph in Egypt. Now this is a secular book. So that goes to show you that if they're talking about things from the Bible that are expounding on things that the Bible talked about, that gives the Bible a whole lot more credence, doesn't it? Anyway, this is just another supplementary book that I bought for my children to look at and read at their pleasure. I don't make them do any type of testing. I just have them, they can go through it, look at it whenever they want, and learn things about Christianity and history based from a secular point of view. But this book, even though it's secular, it agrees with a lot of us that we learn from God's Word. That's what I love about it. So anyway, this is just another way that I have supplemented my history curriculum. And like I said, this book is pretty thorough. It has a lot of reading. And with Abeka's curriculum, although it depends on your student and how diligent they are, you may have to sit there and read everything with them. Or if you have a student that's diligent, you can just give them the book and they will read it and they will understand it. They will make flashcards and they will, put the stuff in their mind so that they can pass their quizzes and tests. But I found that if I read it with them, I'm learning myself. Although by the end of the year, you get so tired of doing schoolwork, but nevertheless, you still have to do it. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video today. Make sure that you share this video with someone who may be trying to decide which curriculum to use, and they wanted an idea on what Abeka is all about, because that's what I was talking about today in this particular video. Make sure you share it, like it, and leave a comment. Let me know anything else that you would like me to talk about. And remember, I am Adrienne Brown, the Homeschool Mom of 8. Don't forget that I am also on CTR Media Network. If you want to find me, just find that network where all my videos are housed. Just click the link down below and you will find CTR Media Network, where you will find many wonderful podcasts and other TV shows, just like mine. Okay, my name is Adrienne Brown. I am the Homeschool Mom of 8, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And I will be posting another video talking about what I'm going to do with my 11th grader. We have to decide exactly all of the things we're going to do for him next year. Well, this coming school year. Okay, take care. Thanks for joining. Take care.